Okay, I've finally finished this book. Besides reading the last bits, which I'm going to read about all the authors. There's like little things about all the authors in all the stories. And then at the very end is a note, Once Upon a Time Book Club or whatever. And I'm going to read that too. I'm one of those people that I read all of the parts of the book. I read like the beginning, what do you call it? Synopsis, something, I don't know what it's called. Introduction, things like that. I read the author bios. I read the like Dear Reader, like the beginning part. I read all of it because it's all there for you to enjoy. And sometimes they even have like facts in the back or like questions for the author, things like that. I like to read all those things. I feel like if I leave that and don't read it, that I'm somehow cheating myself or like I haven't truly completed the book. This last story was a fantasy, fairy tale type story called An Old Red Cloak by Taylor Quinn. I kind of imagined it as like old-timey, villages with cobblestones and stuff, that type of like time period. This girl named Rowan lives with her. She's probably like young to teenagery almost kind of age, like kind of youngish teenagery. She lives with her mom and her grandma, and they have like a bakery in this little village. And the bakery has been passed down from generation to generation or whatever. She doesn't really care about the bakery that much, but like if she stays, the bakery's going to come, it's going to be passed down to her. But she's kind of not really that into it. It's like pouring down rain really hard, and she sees this boy about the same age as her wandering the streets soaking wet, skinny, starving, and poor, and like no shoes and stuff. Like he needs help, and he's trying to beg for food or shelter or something from this other business or house or whatever across the street, and she sees it and she feels sorry for him. So she takes some old bread. She's supposed to be washing the dishes. She takes some old bread and puts it up on the windowsill and like taps in the glass, try to get his attention for him to come over and take it. And he comes and gets it, but the grandma sees it or hears it, and she starts running after him in the street saying, "You thief, don't steal from me." And she's all mad, and the girl's trying to defend him, but she's not listening. And she's like, he's starving, he needs help, it's just a little bread, whatever. And I guess her grandma's like a witch of some sort. Alright, I guess she has to be a witch. So she starts talking in weird, like another language or saying spells or something, and she casts a spell on him, and then he runs off into the woods. And then it flashes forward, I think it was like 20 years or 10 years. 10 years, okay. So it flashes forward 10 years later, and Rowan lives in a little cabin in the woods, and she's married, doesn't have any kids, but she's married. And then you find out that the guy she married is the boy that ran off into the woods. She like fell in love with him, love at first sight. He has like striking green eyes, and as soon as she saw his striking green eyes, she was like in love with him and stuff. And apparently that day, after her grandma cast a curse on him or whatever, she ran off with him into the woods, and then she stayed with him, and they stayed together for 10 years and became sort of like husband and wife or whatever, and and he built a little cabin for them, and they just kind of hid out in the woods away from everybody else and lived a peaceful life together and are in love with each other. So there's another village nearby, like on the other side. And she always goes to that village to get, like, go to the marketplace and get supplies or whatever. And she hasn't been to her village in years. And the way they were talking, it made it sound like because of the curse, he becomes, I'm assuming, a werewolf. That's what I imagined in my head. So he becomes like a beast-like werewolf or something creature. Because she says the full moon, like when the full moon comes, he runs off into the woods or whatever. And then she doesn't get to see him for a while. And whenever that happens, she goes, usually takes a trip to the village to get supplies or whatever. She decides to go to the old village. And she has this red cloak that she ran off with when she was young with him. It was a gift from her mom or her grandma or something. This bright red cloak kind of reminded me of Red Riding Hood. I was like, is this gonna have some sort of Red Riding Hood thing to it? Is it like a twist on that story? But it's not really. It kind of reminded me more of Beauty and the Beast a little bit, like a twist on Beauty and the Beast. So she goes to her hometown because she's curious to see how it's changed, if it's even still standing. She doesn't even know. And the bakery where she used to live and work is still there, but it's owned by somebody else. The grandma, I guess the last time she was there was like 4 years ago when the grandma died or something. The grandma's dead. Her mother left. She just left the town, moved away or something. So she hasn't seen her since, and she's walking around the town looking at stuff, and this fisherman, she buys some fish from a fisherman, and he says, that's a unusual red cloak you have there, and she feels kind of weirded out by him, the way he's looking at her red cloak and acting like he's like interested in it, fascinated by it or something. And she goes into another shop and they have these beautiful red scarves, and she thinks about buying it for her husband. And the woman starts talking about her red cloak and how she'll trade her like 5 or 6 scarves for her cloak because it's a expensive color and it's really fine. It's like a really nice, expensive cloak or something. And then all the villagers start to gather and whisper and talk, and they're like, who is this girl? And 10 years ago, a girl ran into the woods. She was wearing a red cloak, and that's the only red cloak we've ever seen. Like, we've never seen someone else with a red cloak before. And there was a beast, and she ran off with the beast. The beast, drug her off into the woods and killed. And then her grandma died. We think he came back and killed her and killed the mother too. And she's like, my mom wasn't killed, and he didn't kill my grandma either, and he's nice. And it kind of reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, where the villagers are like, we're gonna go after the beast and she will lead the way to him and we're gonna take him down. And she's like, no, he's nice, stop it. They're like all getting together, getting their pitchforks, and so she has to sneak off and then dart into the woods, and she manages to evade them, I guess, and gets away from them and goes into the woods and back to the cabin, and her husband is there in a hammock, lounging in a hammock, and she crawls into the hammock with him and tells him that she went to their old village and what happened, and she's like, I just want to be with you. I don't ever want to go back there again. And he's like, maybe we should leave and go off farther away to a new place and have a nice peaceful life. And she's like, okay, that sounds great. And then the story ends. So they were talking about a hammock whenever it said, open your gift. A mess of brown curls, dusted with snow, peeked over the edge of the turquoise hammock, hanging between 2 trees before a fire pit. So my guess is it's a turquoise colored hammock. My last gift. It would make sense. It's in a little baggie. I'm not super excited about it being a hammock because I'm going to have to lose a lot more weight before I can be in a hammock. Me and hammocks have not ever been friends. I remember when I was a kid, my parents had a hammock and I laid in it and it broke. It was like, because I was a little bit too big for it. And the only ones I've had luck with are those really sturdy ones that are like made out of rope and they have wood that stick. When I was a kid, getting them flip over all the time. They're really not that fun, if you ask me. It says, "Go away, I'm reading." It's turquoise colored. Portable hammock. Select trees about 10 to 12 feet apart that are strong enough to support you and your hammock. Wrap strap around tree. Wrap each strap 1 to 2 times around the base of each tree, about 5 feet off the ground. I'm not gonna open it up, but you get the drift. It's a hammock. It's a hammock in a bag, because I don't know how well I can get it back in the bag. I'm sure when Em gets home, if she discovers it, she'll be like, "Get it out of the bag. I want to see it. I want to see it." I'll be like, "No!" And then she'll want to set it up somewhere. It's too cold for hammocks right now. It's a blustering, cold day today. At least this morning it was. I haven't been outside since like 7:40 this morning. And it was cold. Alright, those are my gifts. Overall satisfaction. I would not buy it again because it was over $100. It was over $100. I feel embarrassed to say that because I am a tight kind of person. I pride myself on being thrifty. I don't like to spend a lot of money. And I think that this was too much money. And overall, with all the gifts in the book and everything, it probably is worth that. But just the fact that a lot of the gifts I don't have that much use for. And they're just so specific to the story and stuff. Like they have these little cards and things that come with them. And I don't know. And they say stuff like "Once Upon a Reading Club" on them or whatever. And like this, I can't use this exactly because it says day 12 on it. Like, that would be weird. If it didn't have that on it, I could probably find some way to reuse it in some way, but I don't know. The only gifts I really liked the most were books, and the stories, none of them looked like something that I just would die to have. Like if I picked up that book in a bookstore, I'd be like, I'm gonna pass on it. Like, none of them are books I'd be like, "Oh, I want to buy this," you know. The gifts are nice. It's just, like, it's stuff I don't really need. And these short stories were good, but they're, they weren't, like, fabulous. Like, they were just kind of basic. Like, I don't see myself wanting to read this book again. Like, "Ooh, I want to read that again," or nothing. It wasn't. They were just, read it once. Yeah. It was a fun experience. I liked the surprise of, like, not knowing at all what your gifts are going to be. Like, this bag, like, I don't really have much use for this. And then, like, this necklace. this was what got the highest praise on the internet. Like, people were like, the necklace is so cute. Oh, it's just really cheap and basic. Like, I could find nicer versions of this at Target or Walmart or anything. The little jar that says read, to be read on it. Yoga mat, like the little welcome mat, and what was the other thing? Oh, it was like a table runner. Like, I don't have any use for that really. So it's just a bunch of junk that I don't really need, that I paid over $100 for. Like, I'd rather just buy, let's see, how many books did I get? I got this book, the short stories book, 4 books, 4 other books. The Duchess, Heard It in a Love Song, She Wouldn't Change a Thing, and One by One. So I can find books for like $2 to $3 on eBay. I'm the queen at finding cheap books. Or I go to like a used bookstore, someplace like that, or somewhere. I usually try not to spend more than like $5 for a book. I don't buy books for like $20 or $15 or whatever, like from Target or sometimes Amazon. They'll be that expensive. I don't do that. That's too much. Same thing with movies, which I'm gonna try not to buy DVDs so much anymore because they're kind of becoming obsolete. Now everything's digital age, you know. But I used to not buy DVDs unless they were like $5 or under. Because I'm a cheapskate like that. And I'm thrifty. So yeah, this would be like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. $12 to say $12 to $20. $20 like max. That's what I should have spent on this instead of $100. To me, it's not worth it. But being Debbie Downer here, I've always wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did it once. It was fun. And now I have finished this. It's a new year, January 12th, when I'm filming this. Is it the 12th? Yeah, the 12th. Okay. January 12th when I'm filming this. I'm sure it won't get posted today because I'm running behind. I posted 3 posts. Let's see if I can find it. Your channel and the community tab. On the community tab, I posted it. Okay, so on the community tab, I posted. You can't hardly see it. What the heck? It looks so weird in there. Like glare. Giant glare. There it goes. You can see it a tiny bit. Anyways, it's like all the days it's all the months of the year. You know, January through December, 12 books in 2023 challenge. Read 12 books recommended by 12 friends. And then I'll take the first 12 listed by 12 different people in the comments section. Only rule is that you can only make one recommendation, and it has to be a book you have read and love. If I have already read one of the first 12 recommendations, I'll go to the next one listed. I first posted this on Facebook. I came across it on Facebook. A friend of mine had posted it. So I commented on theirs, left a recommendation, and then I shared it because I was like, that sounds like fun. And then only like one person commented on it. It's like, oh, that's not fun. I need 12 recommendations. So it's like, I know, I'll put it on my YouTube channel because my Facebook is private to just my friends and family, you know. No offense, guys, but yeah, it's not, I don't want that much, information out there. It's my private one. Um, and then I have a fan page, a Facebook fan page for Cinema Cody. I don't think I put it on that one. No, I don't think I put it on that. So I posted on YouTube in the community tab, and still, so that one has one comment, one recommendation. So like, I'm still not getting enough. So I put it on Twitter, which is Cinema Cody's Twitter. It's for the YouTube channel. It was my private one, but since I never used it because I never went on Twitter, I didn't care about Twitter. It just had nothing on it pretty much. So I changed it into just to Cinema Cody. It's the YouTube channel's Twitter now. And I don't have my own personal one. It's just that one. Just the YouTube channel's Twitter. I put it on that too and only got like one comment. So I had 3 of them out there, and I was going to take them collectively, take all the comments and make 12 out of them if I could get to 12. And then all of a sudden the Facebook one started blowing up, and I got a bunch of comments from different people. So then I was like, oh gosh. So I have one recommendation on the YouTube one by Stu Magoo, said Rule of the Bone, written in 1995 by Russell Banks. And I have ordered that book on eBay for $2 or $3, and it's on its way. And on my personal Facebook page, that's where I got the most comments. There's 19 comments now. Oh God. So I'm going to have to look at them all and make sure which ones are first, because I'm only going to do the ones that are first. I'm only going to do one recommendation from a person, because I had somebody, she's my relative somehow, I don't know how, cousin, aunt, something distant. She commented like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, you're only supposed to do it once, so I'm only going to take the first recommendation that you put on there. Unless I get done with all the others this year, then maybe I'll go back to the other ones. I was hoping that wouldn't make her mad to say that, but it's the truth. It says right there in the instructions, only one recommendation. So this girl that's a relative of mine somehow, I'm not quite sure. I think she's a great aunt. She recommended A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving, which I have already received that book. I got it off eBay. It's a thick one. It's like that thick. And then another lady who's related to me somehow, I'm not sure, said Ticket Home by James Michael Pratt. And my mom recommended Gone with the Wind. I'm kind of salty about that one. It's my grandma's favorite book. My mom also likes it. They both read it, and I've never read it. I've never really been that interested in reading it, to be honest. I haven't really ever sat down and watched the movie, but I've seen bits and pieces about the movie. Scarlet, I don't give a damn, or whatever. And I don't know. I've just never really been interested in it. And it's like that fat. So that's going to be a challenge this year to try to read that. And another distant relative of mine suggested Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. I've heard of that one. It's been on my list for a long time, the movie and the book, because I think there's a movie with Brendan Fraser. And I might even own it. I need to look at my books. I might have it. It's one that I've considered getting and maybe reading to M or something, or reading it to myself. I don't know. My aunt said, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I've heard of that one too. I've seen the cover. It's gotten a lot of recognition. Won awards perhaps. I don't know. It's like at the top of the charts for like biographies or autobiographies or whatever. I don't know who Jeanette McCurdy is, but I've seen the cover of her holding ashes of her mom or whatever. And yep, that's it. Besides, the one relative has recommended a few other books as well, but I'm gonna go with their first recommendation, which was Ticket Home by James Michael Pratt, which I also have received that book, and I have that one already. And I've ordered Gone with the Wind off of eBay, a copy of that. And then on Twitter, I think there was only like one comment. I don't like the way Twitter is set up. Like, I'm always clicking the wrong things. It's like, I'm going to leave a comment. Oh no, I went in the wrong thing. No, I need to go back. Like, it's not very user-friendly to me, like Facebook is. Like, I just don't like Twitter that much. And people are meaner on Twitter. Like, they're just so wrapped up in things, politics or whatever. It's annoying. People are like that on Facebook too, but it just seems like there's more of it on Twitter. So somebody named Sparnicus. It's like Spartacus. That's funny. Said Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. That sounds familiar too. So those are all my recommendations. I'll have to add them up to see if that's 12. I don't even know. I don't think it is it? I don't know. But anyways, what my goal is, this is going to be a long video. My goal was to finish this year, the beginning of the year, this month. And then I'm going to finish reading. All right, here's a copy of Ticket Home. It's about Oklahoma boys. Oklahoma guys. Yeah, twin brothers from Oklahoma, which is cool because I am from Oklahoma. So I like books about Oklahoma. One of my favorite authors is Billy Letts. And she has books that are based in Oklahoma because she's from Oklahoma. Okay. So, now, after I finish this one, I'm going to finish this. The book that my dear sweet mother wrote. And I feel extremely ashamed that I have not finished this yet. I feel like it's one of those things like I'm savoring it. Once I read it all, it will be all read and done, and I won't be able to get that experience back, you know? She's working on the sequel to it, and she's actually finished the sequel. She's just going back and rereading it and rereading it and rereading it. She reread this one like, I don't know, 13 times or something. Maybe 20 times. She read it a lot. And because she's editing it herself and going through every little line, every little detail, making sure she's got her information all accurate. She's spelling things right, no grammatical errors. You know, things still slip through the cracks, but she probably did pretty good because these days I read books all the time and they have grammatical errors in them all the time. It's like people don't know how to edit things properly anymore. Everything's all digital and autocorrect and whatnot, and I don't know. I think she did a really good job. But yeah. When the Buckeyes Fall. I've read this far so far, and I've already cried a lot. I didn't cry a lot, but there was a scene that made me cry. No. I wasn't bawling, but it was sad. And then once I finish this book, I'm going to start reading books from the 12 that were recommended to me to read this year. And I will try to get through all of those before I can read anything else different. If I can stand it. Because I've got books for Christmas and tons of other books laying around all over the place. There's books everywhere. I'm surrounded by books that I have not read, that I want to read desperately. I just don't find the time to do it. That's that. Including these 4 books that I got in the 12 Days of Bookmas. To be honest, they're kind of at the bottom of my list. I'm not dying to read them like I am a bunch of other books I have in my room already. Probably should do a video on like what books I got for Christmas or something, but kind of feels weird because I haven't read them yet, so I don't really know much about them. I could just be like, I got this book. I got this book. Haven't read it yet, so I can't really tell you much about it, but okay. That's about it, I guess. I feel like I don't want to leave. Have a nice day. Please leave nice comments down below and like and subscribe. Bye.